Welcome to Grave Reload. I'm Anthony, and AMD has released the reviews are out on their 7000 series CPUs. Intel. I'm also going to cover a little bit of Intel, my thoughts on that as well with the Raptor Lake announcement here. But AMD CPUs are out. You can go out and buy them, get the motherboard, whatever else you want, if you want to. But here's kind of some things I've been thinking about on if this is something, hey, you want to jump on board for, or are you going to wait for like the 3D or even see what Raptor Lake has? One thing that you're going to have to take, and one thing I really found interesting was the increase of temperature from the CPU. Now, this may be a changing of how we really have to look at the way CPUs run, as well as everything with that more dense transistors, right? They're going to generate heat in a smaller area. How do you dissipate that heat faster? You're going to have parts like this. Now, chiplets are one way to kind of put that dissipation of heat in different areas, but you still have, dense little areas of multiple cores. So how is this going to evolve? AMD, from what it seems like, you hit 95 degrees Celsius, it sits there, it's going to be running at that if ever you put a huge load on it, and your speed is going to go and lock into there. It's a little bit different approach than what we're used to, but if this is something that you're going to be looking at in the 7000 series, it's something you're going to have to be conscious of, because you're not just going to have to look to see at temperatures if you're at your max, but also when you're overclocking and tuning it, you're going to be wanting more look at what your speed is of that CPU to see if you've hit your um, full ability of that chip. So it's going to be a little bit different and not so much temperatures. Me, you know, I feel like there's an adaptation here. We can't be set in our ways of how we expect a CPU or GPU or whatever else to act. We're going to have to adapt, especially as we get to more and more dense nodes and how they think of different ways to increase speed and increase performance over generation. I'm sure this will change again. It's just where we're at right now, and I don't see it as a positive or negative. I just see it as a approach that we're on this path. So that's my thoughts on the whole high temperature. If you want it more efficient, if you want it cooler, you can lock in a 65 watt. It seems like that these CPUs kind of sit into that 65 watt pretty well. Now you're not going to get the full performance of these CPUs, which seem very performant. They seem like they're a really good GPU, especially on the productivity side. Now, for someone like me that builds code, that compiles code, writes code, does video editing here for the videos, photo editing, all that other stuff. These are very good CPUs. Probably a good upgrade for my Threadripper that is the first generation, which has been a while, right? It's a older CPU. I I don't know if I'll upgrade at this point. I'm still on the fence. I still don't know. Intel still has to bring out their CPUs, and who knows? Maybe I just wait, especially for the 3D models that might be out sooner. It does seem, if you're strictly a gamer, we're getting to the point where all the CPUs are bottlenecking based upon the GPU. The GPUs need to make that next leap. I We'll see when the 49 comes out and when AMD's high end comes out. It almost seems like we need like a 2 GPU cycle to start pushing all these CPUs, even in the mid range and low range. There's certain tests out there that show that even Alder Lake, if you're just strictly gaming, the quad cores are doing and kind of maxing out these GPUs. So, or bottlenecking based upon the GPU, and the CPU can keep up. So there is that out there. Now, this is, just 1080p gaming, we're not jumping around to 4K, etc., and all this other stuff. But even then, right, if you're doing 4K, that's more GPU bound anyways. So I time will tell, right? You're going to build a gaming PC for today. If you're just gaming, you can probably get by with something a little bit cheaper. You don't have to go up to some of these higher end cores that are all getting the same frame rates. As a software developer myself, somebody that likes software, I do wish that these game developers would just say, hey, we're going to develop a game that for high settings and if you want fidelity, we're going to make your computer hurt with the current hardware today, and try that route. Now, I think that that game would have to just start being developed. But if you did that, oof, that would be something huge. So, um, you know, it comes down to the 5800 X3D seems to still be a great option if you want DDR4 or Alder Lake. Raptor Lake is also going to support DDR4. So those are your options on DDR4. I don't think AMD needs to go this for the 7000 series at all here. They can just stick to where they're at with DDR5. Now, with the motherboards here in the United States, I'm looking on Newegg. They're in the $250 range. There's actually already rebate on some for the $244 range. So there is something here, and those are X670E motherboards by ASRock. So not bad, right? That's not a horrible price to start out with. Now AMD did say that to be a $125 range. So if you're looking for that, I'm guessing that's going to be your B650, which is going to be released next month. And hopefully they get the prices down even more, especially if you're doing a mid-range build. Maybe that makes more sense. Time will tell. I'm not going to do kind of a platform assessment like every launch of everything, right? Apple will start discounting their phones, later on, discounting other stuff later on the product cycle, right? When they're trying to get rid of stock or whatever else, right? Or they kind of do it through the phone providers here in the United States. But you get to a point where it gets cheaper in the life cycle, which I expect they're trying to get all the first adopters to pay all that money for the high-end motherboards that are ranging up to, here on Newegg, do I even want to look? The high end is $1,500. Ouch. That is expensive. Uh, that is very expensive. But if you're gonna want to pay for that, go for it, right? Otherwise, yeah, you're not gonna. You're gonna wait, right? You're gonna look for that cheaper motherboard that comes out later. Now, with the prices of this, they are all so here in the United States. The 7950X at Newegg and at AMD are sold out. The 7900 and below are all still in stock at both sites. I was checking them out. A friend sent me that. I haven't gone all over the place, but I don't know what the stock is compared to the 5000 series, right? Who knows? Maybe AMD had the same stock and the 5000 series sold way more. Again, we're going into recession. There's different economic times, all that other. Okay, going into recession. We are in a recession. There's different economic times. So this is kind of like, it is what it is, right? We don't know. We'll know more from AMD's sales numbers, I guess, when that comes up. But we're not going to know from AMD based upon, oh yeah, we're selling through a lot of stuff. Now, we do have Intel, which just announced their Raptor Lake as well. Now, who knows what type of launch this will be, when they're going to be hitting on store shelves. But we have everything here. Intel's site is just, you have to go to their newsroom to get everything, because I went to Intel.com. They said 13 Gent is here, and they don't describe what the processors are. But I was looking here, and they talk about some of the benefits. What's interesting is that they were 5.8 gigahertz, and they say about 15% better single-threaded performance. You have up to 8 performance cores and 16 E-cores. So I expect Intel to get the multi-threading benefit if you're using the E-cores as well. Now, they do support DDR4 and DDR5, and a little bit more cache on there as well. Now, these prices, once they get on there, I think Intel has their SKU per 1,000. So, yeah, we'll see what that is once they fully release it out in the wild where it sits. But yeah, they're going to probably be a nice benefit to, or complementary to, the current boards that are out there, right? where on the Intel versus the new AMD platform, that right, they're going to DDR5, PCI5, all that goodness. Whereas Intel, you still have that luxury of that DDR4, getting those motherboards here. I mean, there's an H610 for 80 bucks. There's a B660M for 90 bucks, right? That right there is 150 bucks difference than the AMD entry level currently today. Now, will that change over time? Probably. DDR5 prices will come down. Will probably be the same at some point as DDR4. There's going to be a matching point at some point. But, right here today, you have some benefit to the Intel platform. And Europe and other countries right now, especially with the US dollar and everything else, dollar shortage and what else is going on, you're having that increase of price over in those countries. I was watching a video of somebody in uh, the EU region, and wow, that is a huge jump up in price compared to here in the United States. We're getting MSRP for that. So, what my thoughts on this, you've been getting spread throughout, but if you're in productivity, right, the 7900 and the 7950X are great productivity chips. Wait and see what the Intel 13th gen, the Raptor Lake gen, is going to have as well. If you're in the market for that, because maybe their 13900K is going to be something also that's more performant and more productive for what your needs are going to be. We won't know that until those numbers from reviewers get out. However, um, if you're looking for just that gaming PC, I don't know if you want to really jump on that 7000 series. Well, it does beat the 12900K in games, some games. The 5800 X3D is also a good option. That also is about the same as that, in the same range as all these other chips with 13900K, 5800 X3D, and the new 7000 series are all in that range. You have the GPU bottlenecking, which just kind of seems like it's showing up over and over in all these tests. Now you could try to, drop down the GPU to 720. There's a whole host of, other things that may appear there as well. But I don't have the GPU, I don't have the CPUs to run those numbers anyway, so it doesn't matter to me, right? I got to take what the numbers that are out there because I can't buy every CPU. So wait, right? You know that the X3D chips are going to be coming out eventually from AMD. See where those sit. You know Intel's coming out with another one. And if you are in a good position with your current chip, maybe you might want to go to the GPU side. If you're just going to upgrade one part, if you're building all new and you need all new, well, build it, right? It's not a bad time to build. It's just if you're sitting there and you have something that works and you're just waiting, save some money up. You have different options. Right now is probably not the best time to buy because of how everything is kind of entering the market. New, used options though, you may get somebody that wants to upgrade and you can plop in something new. So that's kind of my thoughts right now. That's how I would caution or recommend people to go, right? If you're going to contact me and say, I'm looking to build a PC right now, I have to build. Okay, then build. Choose if you want to go the DDR5, DDR4, right? Do you want to spend that difference? If yes, then go DDR5 route. You have two choices, Intel Raptor Lake or AMD 7000 series. Which one do you want to land on there? Are you building just gaming, building more productive? You have those options, go that route, whatever, right? If you're building just gaming, well, do you have a gaming PC that's already working? Yes, I don't have any problems with this, playing everything I need to do. No reason to build, right? Don't waste the money on something unless you have it. Then go that route. However, if you need a gaming PC, like you're looking to get in the market, my first option is go used. I just picked up a 6700 XT for 250 bucks, and that was my upgrade here. I know prices have been fluctuating up and down. They haven't been that low since I bought this card here in the United States on eBay, but it was a good card. it worked well. Maybe I'll have to compare to that Vega 50 or Vega 64 that I took out, but I've been pretty pleased. So there's another option out there as well, which is that used market, which might have some options for you as well. So that's kind of where I stand on this. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or what you're thinking about doing on this this release of CPUs here. Once the reviews come out for Intel, I'll probably take a look and do another video on that. But yeah, that's where we kind of stand. I kind of am taking this CPU launch as, wow, these are really good CPUs. Well, we are going into, or we're in a recession, and if you're in another country, these prices are not what they are in the United States, making them even more expensive. So proceed with caution. I'm guessing you're going to have the same problems with Intel pricing. Then you have NVIDIA pricing, which we already know about. There is a used market, so keep that in mind. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Gray Overload and helping this channel grow. I really appreciate it. You guys are great at helping this channel. I know we're approaching 1,000 subscribers here, and I appreciate that. You guys are great. So until next time, please subscribe. God bless, and don't forget to like and share.